Non-quarterback takeaways from Mayday. I've got two. First one, how they use Tank Bigsby outside of handing him the football, because I think that's what we're going to see a lot of. There's so many benefits to getting him the ball in short passing situations. One, it gets him out in space, or the opportunity to get out in space. It's going to save his body because, man, he is going to get hit a ton this year because they need him. And I got a feeling Tank's okay with that. But also, they did it with moving him in the formation. Like, it wasn't like they were just passing it out of the backfield. Like, there were times where he lined up in the slot, where he lined up out wide. So, I mean, there's a lot to like about that. And I talk about this all the time. When you're an offense, you want the defense to have to defend every blade of grass, and you also want them to have to think. And whenever college defensive backs have to think, the more they have to make quick decisions, pre-snap and post-snap, the more likely they are to make a decision incorrectly. And so I love moving Tank around because it just has to, it's more that they have to prepare for, it's more that they have to process pre-snap. And I love that. And so it's like, do you put a nickel on him? Do you put a linebacker to follow him out there if you're in man coverage, even though he's out wide? There's a lot of different things you just have to spend mental energy and time and practice on when you do stuff like that. So that was the biggest thing for me, was Tank Bigsby. And then obviously there's the application of it in regards to him getting yards throughout, through the air. It's going to help other wide receivers possibly open up. It's less stress on the offensive line because you don't have to block as long, and it gets your quarterback more comfortable. There's a million things, Lindsay. So that's one thing. And also helps Tank get ready for the NFL. So that was, do you have anything on that before I move to my second one?
I think part of that is, one, having a more standard offseason to kind of figure out what we're going to do scheme-wise. Obviously, new coaching staff as well, but then also having better depth at the running back position. Fair. Where you are comfortable taking another guy and running him, having him lined up at tailback because Tank's in the slot or Tank split out wide or whatever it may be. So you love that. And obviously you take what you saw from the backs, you add
Jarquez
back to it once he's healed from his procedure. And it's like one of the best backfields in the SEC right there.
Yeah. Staying on the topic of running backs, this is my second biggest takeaway, but I do think it's worth noting. Sean Jackson appeared to be in the bigger role over Jordan Ingram.
I think part of that may be rewarding the veteran. He's put in the hard work enough where they gave him a scholarship. They're rewarding him with carries in the spring game. I don't know.
I like that he's a different back too. I mean, Jordan Ingram, we haven't seen a whole lot of him, but he may be similar to Jarquez. Mm-hmm. Just kind of, I think he's got some speed. He's got some pop, but I think he's just a similar type of back. And with Sean Jackson, that dude's like a bowling ball. I mean, he reminds me a little bit of like a Cameron Artis-Payne, where it's like, you don't really want him outside of the tackles, but I love, anything, in between the guards. I'm all about giving him the football there. And also just kind of the upside, just based on his body type of, last year we saw Sean Shivers be the third down back, specifically in like pass protection and blitz pickup, which Sean was good at that because of willingness. And I think he had a pretty high football IQ. Sean Jackson physically is more what you want in that role to actually get in the way and kind of stall 260-pound dudes sprinting at your quarterback.